Hello, everyone, and welcome to our online virtual open house. Since things have been a little bit different the past few weeks, I just want to assure you that we are going to use our imaginations tonight. And I want you to imagine that you have the opportunity to walk past a gorgeous storefront, and you can look through the windows and you don't even have to wear a mask right now, right? But that you have the freedom to be walking down the street and you look through the window and you see these beautiful people chatting with each other. They are not having to be 6 feet from each other. They're all sipping on something beautiful and pink or peach, and they all seem to be so abundantly happy. So for some of us, it might take a little bit more imagination to use, but if you could just step into that with me right now. I just want to sort of like take you on this little journey, and each of us are going to share just a little bit about what our storefront is like, what our business has been like. And most of us did not join Plexus to actually have a business. We started for health reasons. I started 4.5 years ago for a probiotic. I'm an autism mom. I have 2 children on the spectrum. I was exhausted. I was worn, tattered, depleted, and Plexus came into my life and helped restore so much. We were isolated. Within a few months, we started to attend a brand new church. It changed so much for our family. So when I envision my storefront, I envision what that initially felt like as my family started to be able to get out into the open. And so it is very similar to the anticipation that we are feeling right now about being able to be out of quarantine, right? Where you want to be out and about and be mingling and be happy and enjoying other people and being in close proximity with others. We actually just got off of a beautiful team meeting that we have every week. And the company of Plexus is like nothing else. So we hear. I know for me, that has been the case. As you hear from these other friends of mine, you will hear that from them as well. But what's been more precious has been the company that we share with our friends. And all of these women on this Zoom tonight, I didn't know any of them before I said yes to Plexus. So not only did I say yes to a probiotic, I said yes to the freedom for my family, and I said yes to community and a company and companionship with other women and men who are advocates for their health and happiness. So just enjoy hearing from my friends and sort of perusing their storefronts and get a good feel for what this could be like for you. I've always had a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit. I would have loved to have had an actual, brick and mortar storefront where I could welcome people in. So just imagine that the sign on the door says, "Welcome and come on in." And what you experience tonight is going to be like nothing that you've ever experienced. So Tammy is up next, and we look forward to hearing more from all of our friends. Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, my name is Tammy. I live in Central Lakes, Minnesota, and like Joyce said, I did not expect to have a storefront or anything when I started Plexus. I started for my health, and thankful that I found Plexus, and it was wonderful for my health and my family's health, and so then I was sharing. and that sharing led to an unexpected blessing of a business. And I am so thankful that it did. My husband is a pastor, and I have always had to work to help supplement our income. And God has blessed us in that way that I've always been able to work. But when my health declined, I was doing in-home daycare, and that's a lot of work on top of having health issues. So I was not able to leave my home. And it got to the point where I couldn't do daycare anymore. And then I got a little bit better. But then when I found plexus, it was a whole new world. So I'm thankful for the health changes. I'm thankful for the business. Unexpected ways from going from full-time in-home daycare 20 plus years to be able to just do a part-time work with your husband in ministry is actually a huge blessing, because ministry is like 2 full-time jobs, but it's a blessing. And to be able to have wiggle room in our budget, to not have to bring a calculator to the grocery store so you don't have the embarrassment of putting food back because you can't afford it. Cub used to have those meals of the week ads, and we would stick to those because I could make that fit in our budget and last a little while for only 4 people. Having plexus has allowed us to have that wiggle room. It has allowed us to pay for athletic fees. My boys are in athletics, and we know that those are not cheap, at least through our school. And to be able to ease that financial burden and have them doing something they enjoy is a blessing. Also, now those boys are headed to college, so I am looking forward to being able to have them experience something that Dad and I did not, which would be debt-free college. So I am thrilled. I know that if you guys have ever shared your favorite restaurant, your favorite meal, your favorite hair product, that you can do this job and have a storefront custom to what you love. I also know that if you crave community, supportive people who love Jesus and love to be the hands and feet of Jesus and helping others, then maybe this is perfect for you. So next up is Linea. Yay, can't wait to hear from you.
Hey, as she said, my name is Linea. I live in the Minneapolis area of Minnesota, and I'm a homeschool mom of 4. A number of years ago, I had 4 babies in 4 years, and in the middle of that, we bought our first house. 3 months after buying our first home, my husband lost his job, and we were a 1-income family because I was a stay-at-home mom planning on homeschooling. And at that time, he actually was out of work for a whole year. So things got pretty rough. And on top of that, I was just miserable on survival mode after all of the sleepless nights for 5 years in a row. Things were pretty messed up in my body. I craved sugar like crazy, and I just really felt helpless. And I felt like I was at the mercy of my husband's job situation. I really had no desire to get a job. It wasn't really my plan. I was going to homeschool, right? But my friend reached out and shared plexus, and she shared some stories with me of people, this one woman in particular who has 11 kids and she homeschools, and it really inspired me. And it really was the first time that I felt hope for a financial situation in years. So I joined, and shortly after I joined, actually, I was able to watch my friend who I joined with. I was able to watch her progress in her business and rank up to Ruby, one of the pay ranks in our company. And it was so inspiring. And after that, it was like, I was all in. So, now I'm able to contribute and help out and take a little bit of the pressure off my husband, making about half our mortgage payment, which is really big to us right now. And I'm still able to be at home with my kids, and I fit it in between things. I don't have to leave my kids. So I have not traded homeschooling for working at all. And the best part is, like those have already talked, the community, especially right now, I'm just realizing, I think everyone's realizing what community you do have, how valuable it is to you. And this community that I have found here has been the most inspiring and encouraging. And, we do book studies sometimes, or we're always encouraging each other and pushing each other to grow and become better people. And that has really meant a lot to me. So next up is Katie.
Hey everybody, my name is Katie Anthony and we are in central Minnesota too. I'm actually just a few blocks away from Tammy. We live pretty close. It's the party neighborhood. Just kidding. We keep it calm. We have been with Plexus for about 6 years and we are just so thankful. Rachel was actually the one that shared Plexus with me, and we thought it was an answer to prayer for my health at that time. We had been praying for a lot of years that God would restore some healing because I was a hot mess and I had a little one at home and was expecting another, and I just was tired of feeling crummy, and I felt bad that that's how my kids and my husband were just gonna remember me, tired and crabby and just falling apart, and I didn't want that. And so when Rachel shared Plexus with me, we knew that God was giving this to us for my health, but what we saw happen was that God had something bigger for us. He also knew at that time we were extremely financially stressed as a family. We felt called that I was to be home with my kids, so I stopped teaching when my daughter came along, and I stayed home full time. But that meant my husband was working hours upon hours, sometimes 3 jobs, and we did not see him very much, which meant I was single momming it a lot of the time, putting kiddos to bed by myself. They didn't see daddy for a couple days at a time, and I'm extremely thankful for a hardworking husband. He never complained, and he would do anything to take care of us. But as some of you probably have seen too, the financial strain that our husbands carry was a lot, and it was hard to see that on his shoulders, and that was a burden on my heart to watch him carry that. And so we had prayed that God would just continue to provide for us in big ways. He always did. He always was faithful. Bills were always met, but there was a lot of financial stress. And so when we started Plexus, I wasn't looking for a business. I kind of had been there, done that. Wasn't looking for a business. But this company is so different, and they have set us up for success in such amazing ways that I was just excited to tell my family and my friends about this, because they had health issues. My sisters had health issues. My mom was struggling with her health. And I was so excited that we had found something that I was watching others really see results with. So of course I told them about it. And this business started to grow, and all of a sudden I was able to pay for my products. And then there was left over to pay for some bills. And then there was a little more. And I have been able to help my husband in such an amazing way because of this. You guys, and Rachel could tell you, I'm more the introvert, okay? So I am not well, you have to be really just a little bit, okay. I'm not crying though. Do you see the progress that I'm making? Okay. You do not have to be, well, she's good at sales. That's not what this is about. This is about sharing health. This is about sharing hope. This is about really investing in others because we care. And this company is so different, and they take such good care of us. We are able to bless our families. And so my husband no longer has to work multiple jobs. He comes home after his full-time job. We have wiggle room in the budget. I get to pay a lot of our family's bills. We get to dream again. We get to pay off debt faster. And just to see that financial burden lifted from his shoulders has been such an immense blessing. And so we know that when God brought us Plexus, he intended this for so much more. And I get to stay home. I am a homeschooling mom of 2. I get to do what I do from my homeschool room. And we get to have such an impact in others' lives, and I get to have such an impact in my family's life because of this amazing company and this business. This is doable. This company is different. They want us to be successful, and they're making us successful. And so I am so thankful for Plexus. You are going to love it. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to pass it on to Rachel and Keith.
Go ahead.
Already?
Alrighty.
All right. Well, I was going to share a couple of thoughts, kind of along two lines, and both of them kind of not comparing, but just thinking about my full-time job and comparing that with Plexus. Just a couple of ideas. So the first one was, well, my name's Keith, Rachel's husband. I manage a facility that we restore classic car parts. That's one part of our business. We had a little over 90 employees, and I'm the manager there. So my first thought is, with Plexus, being an ambassador, you're not going to get furloughed. This business is yours to make or break. This past week, last week, we actually had to furlough 30-some employees as sales dropped. Things out of our control, obviously, because of COVID. We had no choice. It's either that or, the company goes out of business. With Plexus, you're not going to get furloughed. So I just was thinking of that just now. And that's amazing. Your income might dip a little bit, but that all depends on how much you want to work as well. But you're not going to get furloughed. So that's one idea. The other one was just thinking, with my full-time job, I have products that are easy to market and show. I brought an object. Just, this is what we do, one of the things that we do. So we take one of these, it's a 57 Chevy car hood or hood ornament, and we get them and they look ugly and they're junk. And when they leave our facility, they look brand new, they're shiny and beautiful. So I can display this at a car show, and you might have a customer come up and say, I've got a car just like that, and I'd love it to have a hood ornament that looked that nice. So it's easy to market and to sell a product like that because that customer can see right there, this is what it could look like. Then you get down to saying, okay, how much is it going to cost? Then they decide, yeah, I've got that money hid for my wife, so I can buy it. And that's the way business goes. With Plexus, it's a little bit different. And I was going to compare that to myself and being a hard nut. And some of you might run across somebody like that where you have to pressure. And so Rachel has, over the years, pressured me, try Plexus. But I'm also an engineer, so I need data. I can't see stuff right in front of me. When you tell me Plexus, maybe I hear some testimonies, and that's fine, but my brain says I need actual data, tests, show me stuff. So pressure from my wife, Rachel, finally got me to try the lean. And so I've been using that for 2 years?
Slim,
sorry. Yeah.
the pink drink.
Yeah, it helps your memory too. So she pressured, which depending on the customer or the person that you're working with, gentle pressure. So what I found is I finally said, okay, yeah, I'll give this a try, and started using it, and it was about 60 days, and I noticed, I didn't have any of the symptoms that are on the list, sleeplessness, all these things. I'm fairly healthy, but all of a sudden I noticed I could breathe out of both of my nostrils. And I realized that I haven't done that for years. So consistently using Slim healed my gut, helped me so that both of my nostrils, the inflammation went down. And I have had that condition since I was in high school. I remember running in basketball in practice and one side always being plugged. So because of Rachel's consistent light pressure, trying to get me to take Slim, and I eventually did. And another, I guess, so be consistent and make sure your customers use it long enough. 60 days, it was roughly 60 days. And then I probably even waited a couple of weeks before I told Rachel that what I had noticed. And so your body has to have enough time for it to take effect. So consistent pressure, give them enough time. And it's a wonderful company that can provide an income, and which we enjoy. And I guess I won't say much more. Hopefully I haven't rambled too much. I didn't write any notes, but just those two ideas. The one about you're not going to get furloughed from plexus. Really depends on how hard you want to work. And the other part is if you find a hard nut, gentle pressure, consistency, eventually they'll try it. And if they try it long enough, they'll see some health benefits. So that's it for me.
Thanks, babe.
Yep.
I didn't have to headlock him for too long. No. So my name is Rachel. Keith is my husband. We've been married for 26 years, and I did network marketing when our kids were really, really little, before our youngest was even born, and went into major debt because the company kept changing and discontinuing, and we get new products. I remember saving up for this $100 marker pack. I saved for a few months till I could afford it. I bought it, and like 1 month later, the company discontinued half of the colors. And I couldn't use it anymore. And I remember crying when that happened because I thought, how long do I have to save to get the next pack? And when I stopped, I love doing that. And I was successful, you guys. I was a jewel in that company. I was earning cruises. I was taking Keith when what was that called? 2000 Y2K. When Y2K happened, that was the first cruise that we earned with our company. That's how long ago this was. And when he asked me to please stop doing those parties, I was gone all the time. I worked 3 or 4 nights a week, many Saturdays. We were $8,000 in debt. And think about the year 2000, how much more $8,000 was then than it is now. I would imagine that's probably the equivalent of $20,000 to $25,000. And so when I brought plexus up to Keith, because I joined to get rid of this itchy rash that I had had on my foot for like 9 months, it was like poison ivy for 9 months. It would not go away. And I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. And he said no. It instantly said no. And I started to cry. And I don't cry to get my own way because he's Spock. That doesn't work anyhow. And I just said, I can't take this anymore. It's driving me crazy. And he said, Rachel, you have to promise me that you won't go into debt. Because the stress of trying to pay that $8,000 off when we had 2 little kids at home and I wasn't working outside of the house except for doing that. And then I quit. So now we have to make that up in our deficit. And so I promised him I would not. And what I love about this company is that we don't carry an inventory. I don't have a garage full of junk that I can't sell. If they discontinue a product, which they have not done since I started working with plexus, they've reformulated a couple things, but they haven't like ripped anything away from us. But if that were to happen, I don't have a bunch of it now that I'm trapped with. I don't have to do parties. These are the kind of parties I do. They're all online and we have a blast. And every once in a while I might go to somebody's living room, have a little coffee talk, but that's it. I don't have a bag full of cash with a calculator in my car anymore. I'm not keeping track of mileage while I'm running stuff to people. Like, it's so different than the experience that I had 20 years ago with network marketing. Most of what we do is just on our cell phones and on our iPads, and I'm so grateful for that, and lots of fun coffee dates. But as Keith was talking last week when we had a meeting like this, he said, you just really have to like people. That's like the #1 prerequisite of plexus is you have to like people. If you don't, you're probably going to struggle in this business because this is network marketing, networking, connecting. It's like the Pantene commercial. I told one friend and she told one friend. And so it's very different. And I'm really grateful. We're at the other end of life. We're not homeschooling. We have a senior and 2 kids out of school. Our 2 oldest were able to graduate from college debt-free, like Tammy's boys. That's a big deal, you guys, because I was able to use my plexus income to help them pay for their schooling. Caleb has a 4-year degree out of a college in Florida, and our oldest daughter is now a police officer in our hometown, and they don't have debt hanging over their heads. And I'm so grateful for that because debt is hard and you can't fall asleep with debt. And when Keith and I came into this, that was the biggest concern. And I'm so grateful because it actually helped us get out of some medical debt. And we can give and bless. And I love to give, and it seems like I was always harming our family because I would give and spend and buy for someone, and then we didn't have enough groceries for the rest of the week. You know, that was kind of what happened often. And so we've just found a new space in this, and I'm talking really fast. So I wanted to share with you guys, though, just a really quick slideshow. Plexus opened up a $6 million stimulus package just for our company, and it ends at the end of April. And so we wanted to share with you guys how we work from home and how you could maybe be a part of that and earn up to $600 over the next few days before the month ends with Plexus. Our company president always says, if you're blessed, be a blessing. And I think right now, would an extra $600 ease the stress in your home? How about $225? My first big paycheck with Plexus was $175. And we filled a grocery cart up at Walmart. And I remember that feeling of Keith doesn't have to worry about groceries this week. Over the next, well, now it's about the next 10 days, Plexus executives have set out to bless 10,000, that's their goal, 10,000 Plexus families with a $600 bonus. It's a part of their $6 million stimulus plan. Right now, enrollment is only $9.95. You pay $9.94 to get our products wholesale for the entire year, and you pay 1 cent shipping on your first 7-pack slim. If you choose to order a welcome pack right now with our company, amazing deals, up to 46% off a welcome pack of products, the things that we love, our pink drink, the probiotics, all the good stuff. You can get that for 10% off right now with the code. That ends at the end of this month, and everyone gets that free trial of Slim. But I think what would, if you imagine, for me, that $175 changed how I was looking at this company opportunity. I didn't want a business. I had 2 jobs when I joined Plexus, 3 kids, and we were right in the middle of basketball season. And that $175 that I made that first check is what you could make if 3 friends joined you and bought a welcome pack before the end of the month. That's the low end of what they're giving away right now. And I remember how much that changed my thinking about what we had. And I had family that were sick and needed these products, and that's why I started to share. So if this is something that you're curious about, I have all kinds of slides and things that we could walk through right now, but instead I would say, for sake of time, go back to the ambassador that invited you to join us tonight or to watch this recording, because she can share how easy this is to work this business, how easy it is to share with people. We have team pages, we have ideas. We don't do cold messaging. I don't scroll Facebook looking for strangers that I can shoot messages at. I'm not going to call anyone without talking to them first. Like, we really network and just have a community of sharing. And I'm so grateful for that, because it's not creepy network marketing like it was in the 80s. This is like a new, just a real authentic way of sharing something that we love. Just like Tammy said, we talk about our favorite shampoo. We share when we find a really cool new taco bar. So why wouldn't we share something that's changed our health? So for sake of time, I'm going to stop. It's 8:30, and I said we'd be done at 8:30, but I just want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. And if you have any questions, your ambassador is here for you. If you would like to talk to me about something, please shoot me a message. I would love to help. But we just wanted to extend the opportunity to you tonight, because it's changed our lives dramatically. And we could tell story after story and be here for the next 3 hours and still not cover all of the ways that God has used Plexus to bless our families. And that's why we want to extend it to you. So thank you for joining us. Have a great week. And I'll see you on the other side of this. Thanks so much. Good night.
See you guys.